guys, welcome to Photoshop JazzedTutorials. So yes, there's 2 videos for me this week. That's a surprise, isn't it? Well, I felt it was only fair because last week's video was kind of not uploaded properly due to the fact that my Mavericks update didn't really like my Final Cut Pro edition. It just said, no, I don't like you. So I had to go and update my Final Cut Pro finally to the newest edition. So now Mavericks is happy. Final Cut Pro is happy, I'm happy, you're happy, we're all happy, and that's fabulous. So, this video is actually a back to basics tutorial. It's for beginners, but if you're an advanced person, you could probably sit in and listen. You might get some good information as well. But a lot of us advanced people may already know how to do this particular effect, seeing as it is geared towards beginners. So, we're going to be doing the lomo effect. Now, some of you may know this. You've seen this on Instagram probably, or other editing sites of that matter. It's a very fun effect. It really enhances a lot of photos. There's actually some cameras out there you can purchase that have that effect built into your camera, so you can take a picture with that effect already on the photo. But for those of us, such as myself, that can't afford cameras of that expense, you have Photoshop to do the work for you. So I will show you exactly how to do that. Now, it's a very simple, not many steps to it, so start off by opening a photo of any sort. Now, before we get started, I want to let you know that every photo will have a different outcome because not every photo has the same colors in it. So mine will look different than yours, and yours will look different than mine, just so you know. Alright, once you've done so, duplicate your image, so in case you make a mistake, you can always go back, delete that, and redo. That's why you should always duplicate your layers when working with other things. Alright, once you've duplicated your layer, grab your lasso tool, which is right over here, right above your crop tool, if you know what that is, and you're going to set the feather to 70px. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create a handmade vignette. And a vignette basically is like a black lighting that comes closer into your photo and gives it that faded effect, I guess. I'm not really exactly sure how to, describe it, but you'll see what I'm saying. So go ahead and draw a circle around your entire image, like I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle because it will automatically make a circle for you, just like that. Okay, now once you've done that, go to Select and click Inverse. We're going to inverse this so that we have the vignette inside the lovely circle part. Alright, once you've inversed that, go over here to your lovely image and adjustments and click on levels. And you want to play around with just this white side over here, and you'll see what I'm saying in a second. Alright, now you see how it's getting a bit darker on the outside but not in the circle? That's what you want. So go ahead and click OK when you have it to your liking. And you can now get rid of that, so just do a D. Okay. Once you've done that, you're going to then add a curves adjustment layer. And this is where you're going to have to play around with this because, as I said before, your colors in your photo will be completely different than mine. So basically what you want to try and go for is an S shape. So you want to create an S shape with a dark and then a light. So something like this. This is perfect, exactly what you want to see. So as you notice here, I have like an S shape. So something like that. And what you see in the preview side is what you want to see. So once you have it to your liking, you can leave it as is and then go ahead and move on. Now, we need to now add a custom color balance adjustment layer. So I already added the color balance layer here, but I will show you the colors I've chosen. So we're going to double click on this, and you will then notice that I have, for my midtones, -28, and then 24, and then -23. And then for the shadows, I use -56, -9, and -13. And then last but not least, the highlights, I use 32, -16, and 16. Now, you may need to also play around with this as well, because if your photo's too bright or too dark, it won't look well. So you may have to alter these settings as well. But for me, I like the way they are, so I'm going to leave them as is. And you'll see over here, we now have a cross-process effect onto our photo. You want to see something like that. Now, if you feel like it's a bit too saturated, which I feel like mine's very saturated, so if that is the case, you're going to make a new layer, and on the new layer, you're going to make it black. So just go Control Backspace, turn your whole canvas black, and then once you turn to black, go down here to Hue and change it to Hue on your blend mode, and then alter the opacity to a setting that you feel is good for your photo. I like 30%, but you might want to go a little more or a little less. It's up to you. So leave it at that. And then our final step to this lomo effect is we're going to add a cool paper texture. Now, I would give you this texture in the description box below, but I have noticed that with different photos, it gives you a different effect for every different texture. So, you may have to find a different texture than you would on one photo. So, like this photo here, I'm using, here, let me undo that. I'm using, oh no, the opacity, I forgot. So I'm using this as a crimpled tan photo, but for another outcome that I made earlier, I had to use a totally different texture because it wouldn't look the same. So you're going to have to find a texture that suits your photo. So every photo you use will need to have a different, I guess, paper texture, because some of them are too light for the photo and some of them are too dark. So that's why I can't give you this in the description, because this one may not work well for you. So just go to google.com, type in paper crumple texture, and find one that suits your photo. And once you've done so, go to normal, change it from normal to multiply, and then you're going to alter the opacity down to a percentage that looks good to you. I happen to love 40%, but if you want to go a little higher or a little lower, go for it. Your effect, totally cool. And that's the basics of the lomo effect. That's how you do it, and that's how you get this cool outcome. I will be showing you two different outcomes in this video, so you'll see two different sides of it, and two different textures were used. I used this texture here, and I also used a different one that I found on google.com. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. If it was, hit my like button. If it was also extremely helpful, you can subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please comment below. I'll be sure to answer you back if I can. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy!
You